to call this Jackson County Commission work session, December 17, 2018 to order. Roll call, Mr. Payne.
Yes, sir. District 1, Mr. Rich.
Present.
District 2, Mr. Venable.
Present.
District 3, Ms. Gilbert.
Present.
District 4, Mr. Sisk.
Present.
Chairman also present.
We'll have a word of prayer by Mr. Porter and a pledge by Ms. Gilbert.
God, our Father in heaven, we're blessed to be citizens of this county, to be citizens of this country. We're thankful for those blessings. At this special time of the year, God, we do pray for those around us, those that need special help, those that need our help. So God, we pray that we will all reach out to them and be your servants on this earth. We pray that you'll watch over us and guide us and be with these commissioners as they deliberate and talk about the matters that are important to this county. We pray for wisdom and discernment, compassion, and strength and character. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we approve the agenda, December 17, 2018 agenda. Before we do, I'd ask that we remove number 4 at this time. Any other changes? I get a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve number 4 removed.
I get a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed. Next will be public comment from the citizens. And first one we got up is J.P. Parsons.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners. I appreciate that. Again, coming before you to talk about the trade-out situation with Troy Basso, and as a writer and a photographer, professional photographer and professional writer. And, in our last meeting, that I had the total schedule of what he plans to do once the American Crappie Trail gets here. And again, the trade-out would be the value of the media that he will be putting this information in would much more exceed the value of the rental at the Jackson County Park Cabins. But that was on that schedule that I handed out at the last meeting. I do have extra I have copies at the office that I can provide you with if you need that also. Okay. But I would like to get approval to go ahead and make those.
What were those dates again? 13th to 18th.
Yes,
Did you
4
check on that?
4 9.
I thought Mr. Morris was going to be here today.
Yes.
I seen him there earlier, but he must have left. But what we can do is we can move to the meeting if the commission so chooses to approval based upon those days being open.
If I understand from Mr. Porter correctly, we would have to have a receipt or something showing the monetary amount, the value of the advertisement, to put that toward the rental.
Okay.
And we would also not have to, we need to not have any vacancies.
Right.
We need to,
If they're full, it would be a moot point. Yeah, for sure, I agree. And that would not be a problem to provide those kind of values.
Well, since we're needing it, it would be better to put on January 7th. Wait on that.
dates or February.
Yeah, it's after.
I talked with Carl right before we come in, because I told you last week, and he said, right now, he said 4 of them are taken, and he said, I've got other people that's called. He said, it being Valentine's, he said, looks like they're possibly gonna be. He said, but right now, they just put their name down. They have not told me for sure.
Okay. Well, the value of this would be much more, or the promotion of the Jackson County Park Cabins would be much more than he would get, because if he wanted to really promote the cabins and promote the value of getting that word out to other people and getting those cabins filled, which that's the reason I want to put him there, because he is a very prolific, very consistent writer, and he puts materials in national, regional, and local media. And he would be, it would be to his advantage to get that kind of promotion from a writer and photographer like him.
Mr.
Other-
Porter, sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, Mr. Porter, on that pending vacancy, like, do we wait up to the very last moment? Is there a date we can make reservations? What is the,
Well, I think you leave it up to Carl to make that call as to when, if the decision is to allow him to occupy a cabin for this period of time, subject to availability, it'd be subject to availability. If Carl gets a call and gets everything rented, actually booked, then there's nothing available.
so you could book it and then bump it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So we could put on the agenda this pending, couldn't we, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Pending the dates are available and proper documentation is provided.
He needs also to keep in mind, you know, this is the kind of promotion, kind of advertising, kind of push out there that he's not going to get any other place.
That's the question, Mr. Chairman. Do you know when the Big Bass Splash is scheduled this year?
The end of March.
In the March?
Yes. It's after that crappie tournament that this fellow covered. He does cover Silly's things too. He hasn't asked for any of that. The thing he's really concerned with, and really wanted to push, was the American Crappie Trail. Make that a big push for it.
Do you know what dates those are yet? Do you have those dates?
For
The Crappie Trail?
I do. It's the same dates that he's asking for.
Valentine's weekend.
Yeah. Well, it actually is the weekend after that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
And put me on that list for volunteers.
Thank you so much. Anybody's welcome to do that. I always welcome those volunteers.
I had a blast last year.
We'll do it again. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna put this on meeting following our work session, based upon those criteria. Next is Mr. Larry Davis.
Thank you, Mr. President and Commission. I'm the president of the Veterans Memorial Park, Jackson County, and I want to do three things real quick here, just give you a very brief update of some things that are going on. I have a request of support from the commission, and then I want to give you an invitation. So if you've been by the park recently, you'll see that we've made some real progress this year. We're about 50% complete with the park. It may look like it's a lot farther ahead than that, but 90% on the infrastructure, so that's really good. We've been able to accomplish what we've done up to this point with about $250,000 worth of donations, in-kind work, volunteer work, donated materials, etc., and we really appreciate that. Both the city and the county have contributed funds and equipment to help us get the park to where it is. And additionally, I want to thank the board for their approval to work with the city and provide alternating maintenance of the park grounds. At this point, we're expecting we need about another $250,000 to complete the park. We have set a pretty tough objective of trying to complete the park by 11 November of next year. That may not make much sense going from 2006 to here and getting 50%, but everything going forward now are big ticket items. Let me give you some ideas, some examples. We'll need 5 large granite marble or granite monuments for each of the 5 services, one for the POW MIA memorial. We'll have an honor wall with multiple panels in it with granite that lists 230 plus Jackson County citizens that have given their life in defense of the country. We'll have 36 pages of kiosks spread around the memorial circle there with all kinds of information related to defense, and primarily that's intended to educate future generations so that we don't forget that freedom is not free. Eventually, we hope to have a statue in the middle of the monument circle. We've got to complete the pavilion. a little bit more of the grounds work to do, and then complete the walking trail that'll go along the creek, hook the Veterans Complex to the walking trails. The board tomorrow, the Veterans Memorial Park Board, will make a commitment of buying $83,000 worth of granite to move us forward here. In order to do that, we're going to kick off a very serious funding drive. And that's my request from the commission, is that I'm asking the commission, the city, the school boards, VFW, American Legion, and other activities to provide us with a letter of support. So we can put all these letters of support together when we go after real donations and grants and what have you. So that's our request. Also working with the school commission, to the school boards, to eventually get bus field trips to the Memorial Park as a part of the curriculum starting in the latter part of 2020. And I'm told that we may need some help from the commission in that regard, and that they'll need additional funding for buses and teachers and those kinds of things. But that's just an applying stage at this point. So we're just asking for your continued support during the completion of the infrastructure. We're asking for your support to help us complete that walking trail around the backside of the park, and then help us identify serious and significant funding sources that we can go after to try to be successful with our funding drive. And last, I'd like to invite the commissioners, as well as anybody in the room, on the 10th of January at 7:30 in the morning. We're going to host a VFW and the American Legion are going to host a kind of a town hall meeting, if you will. It'll be breakfast provided. Provide a lot more information about where we've come from and where we're going. And I think that'll be very meaningful information for the general public. So you're all invited and welcome to attend that. That'll be at the Veterans Home, 1616 Heroes Drive, right across the street from the fairgrounds and next to the Memorial Park. And so, are there any questions?
If you come up with any grants, like on the federal level, that maybe Mo Brooks is great to help us with.
Unfortunately, yeah, we tried that. If you're not in DC, or if you're not putting if you're not working on federal property, there's very little that the federal government can do.
If you find anything, we'll be glad to take it with us when we go up to talk to them.
Well, and if you have some suggestions, but we worked for Kathy, and
Okay.
she's
Yeah,
given
that's
us a laundry list of alternatives to go work on, and we'll be working through that. But it doesn't look like you can get anything.
That's what I was going to hook you up with. Okay.
But we're going to work at the state level, though, and that will work. Any other questions?
For letter support, I mean, we just need to do a motion.
Sure. Allowing you to sign a letter of support in favor of the Veterans Park.
Is everybody okay with putting that on our meeting? I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. The next is Marvin Hall.
Y'all so good fast, I can't do yet for a while. I've got several items here I'd like to get straightened up one way or the other. One of them is I was put down pretty good in the newspaper, it's not true.
Okay.
Some of it is true and some of it is not. I did have a contract,
Okay.
but the porter of God not best, he didn't get me a contract in the church. They left out I had it. Then the lawnmower, I'm gonna show you, the county didn't have a dime in it.
The diamond what? I'm sorry.
Lawnmower. The lawnmower, the county didn't have a dime in it. Here, I'll show you. First in yellow. And questioning.
that's what it said.
I was questioning, you know, I did, and John.
Yeah, it was county property.
I'm
yeah.
not disputing that.
Right, well, that's what was said.
I'm not disputing that.
Well, that's all it was said, it was county property.
But they didn't say who bought it. The mower was really bought from me.
Yeah, we actually put it in the paper just like it was written.
And the county never give me a dime for gas.
I think he was under contract though. Under that contract, you supplied the gas and the lawnmower.
John Dalton, Shadrach McGill wanted to give that $100 a month for gas. Like the county. Everybody straighten that right here. That's all I'm asking.
You made it clear.
And tell the truth about me, but I'm not ashamed of one thing I done.
I don't think nobody's ever questioned
Yeah,
your,
well, I got somebody, a lot of people saying it.
well, not from Miss Bonnie.
I was in the hospital when all this come about, I couldn't say nothing about it. But I got hurricane report down. And
Yep, that's exactly what was in the paper, just like you got it.
I wanna know who sent people well down in my house. And nobody,
I couldn't tell you, you'd have to ask sheriff that.
they can't nobody tell me nothing. And the man that gives the paper told me the boy, he said he didn't do it.
Right. That's what I said, you'd have to ask the sheriff's department. They got called and said it was at your
Somebody
place.
had to tell the sheriff.
That's what you need to find out, I don't know.
They didn't tell me nothing.
I mean, I can't help you no further than that.
I got this contract. Can you get that contract?
Can I get it?
Yeah.
Do we have a copy of it?
We don't have
He brought it up.
Yeah, we don't have a contract signed. There's not one.
The contract, I'm gonna work where the contract was written. The contract is what you call a load-over contract. I've done that job for 50
You wanna
years.
say that?
What year was that, Mr. Holcomb? What year was your contract signed? What year do you think the contract was signed?
The contract was in 2009.
2009?
Well, something I never wanted to brought it up.
And that is, but there's not a signed one.
Right. Do you understand that?
I'll go back that few hobbies before he went out of office to get me the contract. And when they got to the airport.
But we keep finding one that was signed, a signed contract.
Well, we found one that left it down there, I know that.
That was before my time, so I can't answer for that.
So, y'all say I'm wasting my time?
No, all you was trying to do is clear your name. That's,
Y'all could make that person down there come up with a contract. He got a copy of it.
I don't see the point.
Yeah, if it's not signed and recorded and we don't have a signed
Me and
copy.
her found one.
Well, it takes the whole
I'm not saying
commission to
it
sign
didn't.
it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, they kind of didn't find it down there in Bali nowhere.
I'm sorry, I apologize for that.
Well, I'm sorry too, because I'm not gonna make no other statement, but I think that the business needs to protect me. I ain't done nothing wrong.
Well, ain't nobody said you done anything wrong.
Because this newspaper up here, I've done a whole lot wrong.
I take it up to the newspaper.
Newspaper writes a whole lot in there.
Yeah, I take it up to the paper then.
Are y'all gonna let people, well, they what he done? I want my trailer back.
Who? Who'd you say?
My
Cecil.
trailer, I
Oh,
want my
Cecil.
trailer back. That's the only statement I'm gonna make, like I'm making that trailer coming back home.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Right. You might have done help me on, I wasted my time to help you, I thought somebody's gonna help me a little bit, because I ain't done nothing wrong.
Ain't nobody said you had.
I ain't getting no satisfaction whatsoever.
Mr. Holcomb, I mean, on my part right there, I was not even involved. I mean, it was before we came in office. You know, we had we had no idea, you
I
know.
think all that before you come out, they two right out of the office when you passed. Yeah, you know, when I was, the letter started stirring up. I mean, you were in office when I got the contract. No,
I
you wouldn't.
wasn't in office when you got the
I
contract.
wouldn't either.
But you come in
In 12.
3 years after I got the contract. And you said 1 year, I waited a 1 year contract, but it's what you call a load over contract. I have never come up before the county commission and said your contract dead. Nobody ever told me that. Why?
I don't know. don't know, I'll look into it further and we can,
You ain't gonna try to find the contract for me.
well, I mean, I don't mind looking, but they've already looked and said they couldn't find it. That's what I'm saying, they've already looked when you requested the first time and nobody could find
Look,
it.
you ain't gonna find one down on office, Mr. Porter, I'll give you one.
If
I don't
Mr.
have
Porter
one,
had
Mr.
one,
Hope.
he'd give it to you.
I don't have it, I've told you that 100 times. I don't have a copy of the signed contract.
You don't have a signed
sir, I
contract,
don't.
you got the one that was dialed up, though.
I do, and I'm
That's
giving you
all I
that.
want, one you dialed up.
I know, and I'm giving you a copy that's not signed.
Give you a copy of one that was dialed up. I know you don't have one to sign, me and her don't want to sign the contract.
Okay? I don't have it.
Thank you. I'd like to move on.
I'm wasting my time.
All right, we're gonna move on. into
Somebody's gonna pay.
Items for the commission. Number one is the DHR lease agreement. The only reason I put it back on here was, I think Bob had sent y'all an email, kind of give you some information on it. I just wanted to touch base a little bit, because I think there was some misconception about how all this come about. I'll let Bob kind of get into particulars of it, but a lot of the things on social media and stuff that was said wasn't true. And we've never wanted to evict DHR. That's already been spoken about, talked about. It was Montgomery's one who told us that they had another location that, you know, if we decided we didn't want to lease it. So we didn't even bring that up. That's something that DHR brought up. But I want to let Bob he can kind of give you some details and then kind of clear everything up.
I'll just kind of summarize this based on going back and looking at the original paperwork that was done back in 1993. I researched this, I checked with Mr. Porter to verify that I was accurate in this and make sure we have the facts here. So for the ones that are interested in the facts, here's what we found out, or here's the information I'm going to share with you. The county donated the property, 4 acres of land, filled in the low area that was back in there. As I understand it, was a very low area. County engineer told me that I think they built the roads back in there for those 2 buildings back in there. And a new facility was built, and the county financed this building through a 15-year note or bond. During this 15 years, the state paid $9,535 per month rent for the facility, which was about $60.14 per square foot back in '93. This agreement stipulated that at the end of the 15-year term, the state would then be allowed to rent this building for 2 more 5-year terms if they chose to, and would pay only $1 per square foot per year for those 10 years. This building was not built and given to the county. This was the mutual agreement that was made between the state and the county for a facility that DHR would use for 25 years. And in August of this past year, the 25-year period ended. The commission started trying to work out a feasible rent factor from the appropriate person at the state at that time. At that time, in August, the state paid rent for that month at $5 a square foot. Then they asked the county to go ahead and give them an MOU to them that would pay 5 months worth of rent for them, which would carry it through December 31st. That would carry from August, September, October, November, and December. So the county agreed in a meeting to extend that MOU and go another 5 months at $1 a square foot. So they did that. And they started trying to negotiate a new lease or rental factor at that point. And as I understand, the previous chairman, Mr. Ashburn, and Mr. Porter met with some of their people, and they were pretty much told, not to be quoted, but they were pretty much told that we're going to pay $1 a square foot, and that's it. And if we do anything else, you're going to have to assume all maintenance, and that includes the light bulbs and the toilet paper. So the initial motions that were trying to be made to come up with a fair rent factor for the county citizens here. As everyone probably knows, the county has lost about $1 million in the TVA in lieu of taxes over the past 5 years. The county does not participate in sales tax, lodging taxes, or tobacco taxes. We get zero from any of those items. The county does not have a growth tax, like a sales tax, to offset this tremendous loss in TVA in lieu of taxes. So, we just wanted to get the facts out there, and again, verified this through our county attorney. We just wanted to share that with you guys, because I've heard everything from we're getting $18,000 a month for that building, or we're getting $18,000 a year for that building, or the state built that building and gave it to you. You're just hearing all kinds of stuff out there, and these are the facts. I just want to present those, the commission wanted to present those.
Thank you, sir.
One more thing before we move off of this, we'll be contacting the individual DHR to come back up here and sit down and have a meeting about it and discuss it. But one thing I do want to, I have called other counties and talked to other chairmen and found out that they had the same agreement as what we've had for 25 years. And at the end of 25 years, they did raise the rate up, and they are currently paying, have been paying it for years. But we want to be fair, make sure that we don't want to charge too much, but we want to be fair to the people of this county. So that's where I just wanted, like I said, it ain't gonna be something that's gonna be brought over or voted on in the next meeting. I just wanted to bring it up so everybody's kind of aware where it's at. And we'll be working with DHR in Montgomery to come up with a resolution with this. Anybody else got anything to get to? Next is Revenue Commissioner's Discretionary Fund. After I talked to one of the commissioners one-on-one, and what he was wanting to do is take his discretionary fund and where we give a 3% raise the last time. He wanted to give 2 of his employees a raise, but we just don't feel like it would be fair to the employees that missed it, because some of the sheriff's department missed about a month, or no, a day. So it wouldn't be right to give to anybody else. So, and I didn't get any support, but I wanted to make sure we explained that, and unless somebody else has got anything to add to that, we'll be carrying that over to the meeting, unless somebody wishes otherwise. Next be 2019 holidays, including Good Friday. We talked last week about doing a resolution. We ain't gonna have time because of the other misunderstanding on it. So what I'd like to do is put this on our meeting directly following this, to just approve what's in your packet, and that's what we do every year. We're just gonna do that, and then hopefully, our office can get that together before next year, we can do the resolution, so we won't have to do this every year. So for this one, we'll move it over to the meeting, if that's fine with everybody. Anybody got anything on that one? Number 3. And the last one is going to be Historical Documents Board. Historical Documents is Ten Commandments, U.S. Constitution, Alabama Constitution, Declaration of Independence. What we want to do is create a board and let this board, no tax dollars that go towards this. So the board will be responsible for raising the funds and then placement of these documents. So with the state voting that into law, now I feel like we can bring it to the board and get that involved. Anybody have any discussion on that item?
I'll make a motion.
Is that fine with everybody? All right, we'll put it on in the meeting. Tell you what, let's take a 5-minute recess and let me get some of the, what's going on in the meeting, put down correctly, and then we'll come back about 5 minutes from now.
Mr. Chairman, you gonna put this historical documents on the meeting today
I am.
without allowing those?
It's just a forward. It's just a forward. It's just an advertisement that wants to see if we get any Thank you.
The reason I bring this issue forward is because that's not, what you say about this historical documents board is a little different from what the state has passed the laws, which particularly contains the Ten Commandments issue, that you've been involved in before.
I have.
So, it's what I'm saying, sure you want to go forward with this today, and maybe not that different, that to give time for public input. That's the reason I'm bringing this
I
forward.
mean, we're not
In the recess.
gonna be doing anything other than creating a board to let the board check into it to see, you know, what they wanna do and let this board be kind of
Decide how to move
decide how
forward.
to move forward with it. All I'm gonna do is see if we can get applications for people who wants to be on this board.
The board wouldn't have authority to do anything. They would
No,
come back to the
yeah,
commission.
they would just bring it back to the commission and then at that time, then we would vote on it. Or go to a work
And then you
session
check
and
with
vote
Mr.
on it.
Porter to see legal or not legal.
Right.
As a citizen here who records a meeting, I'm suggesting that maybe you wait and put this forward at a later time. I'm just suggesting,
I mean,
whatever y'all do, it's up
What
to you.
reasoning behind it?
Reasoning is because here we are at a meeting and you're voting on an issue that citizens could have input to.
No, we're not
right
voting
now.
on the issue. All we're doing is put advertising for board members to let them come in and do some investigation to see,
Right.
you know, how much support we've got, can the funds be raised? And then at that point, then they would come to me and say, okay, this is what we've got, this is feedback, this is some of the funds we got, and this, you know, and then when we go with placement, then we'll do that
Right. At
later.
that point, the select members then could,
Then it still has to come
the
to
select members
this
could
body.
then vote on the Ten Commandments, right?
No, it has to come back before this body again,
Right.
to a work session in a
But
meeting.
here's the bottom line, what I'm suggesting, that you wait one more meeting, one more regular meeting, to give citizens a chance to input and fully explain.
Well, I mean, we had that input last time for People Jackson,
That's
and
what
it
I'm
was
saying.
overwhelming support for it. The only ones that I didn't have support for.
No, sir. No, sir, there was not overwhelming support for it. There was a difference, and people spoke up here about that difference.
I'd be interested to see who you're talking about, because all I got was people from
There was a
Pennsylvania.
doctor that spoke up here. What was that doctor's name? About creating problems for Jackson County? But anyway, that's just my suggestion, that you wait a meeting before you vote on it. That's all.
I got 50 seconds, so. Bring our meeting back to order. We'll jump right into new business. First one's going to be a motion to approve the 2019 holidays, including Good Friday.
Make the motion.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Next will be, make a motion on, advertising for the cabins, based upon stipulation that we do have rooms available, for those dates, the 13th through the 18th of February.
This is a one-time thing.
One-time thing.
I make the motion that we do it this one time, and if it reoccurs, it comes back to the commission again.
I get a second? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Number 3 is a letter of support, giving the chairman authorization to sign a letter of support for the veterans that Mr. Beckner come down and talk to us about.
I'll make a motion to do that, Chairman.
Mr. Sis made the motion, I get a second.
I second.
Mr. Reese. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Next be advertising for people on historical documents board. So anybody interested in being on the board of historical documents, we're just gonna advertise, see what letters we get, and then we'll bring it back on the January 7th work session.
Do we know yet how many members we will have on the board?
I would like to have 9. And because of the fact of it being a delicate issue, you get more feedback. Plus, like I said, they're going to have to do fundraising, because it will, none of this come out of county fund. It'll all be provided by a private citizen, unless you got a different motion you'd like to do.
I make the motion, we advertise, and then we can decide when we get.
And that ain't something we have to decide today, right, Mr. Porter? I mean,
No.
we can do, all we're doing is just accepting letters to see, and then we can talk about it on January 7th work session.
You're not actually establishing a board or anything, all you do is advertising
Right,
the folks that are interested in serving on such a board.
right. All right, I got a motion, Mr. Venable, will get a second.
I'll say.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? All right, next we got reports from the staff, county administrator,
No, sir.
county engineer.
I do have one item, Chairman and Commissioners, December 6th letting, highway transportation letting included Jackson County project for County Road 59. This was our last federal aid project selection by the commission, and there were two bids, one by Wiregrass Construction, one by Reed Contracting. And the apparent low bidder is Wiregrass Construction. And the amounts, I have those with me, if you'd like to see those.
Which road is that?
County Road 59. That's from DeKalb County line, to County Road 16 near Dutton.
Yeah.
So this will bring about a couple of things. We'll have to decide our portion of the payment, where that'll come from, and then also our next federal aid project. So we'll be coming forward with some suggestions on those as far as a short list for you guys to look at and make a decision on our next project.
Thank you. Rob? Mr. Rich?
I don't have any further things to say. Glad to be here again.
Skip you, Mr. Porter. You
I
got
don't have nothing.
Mr. Venable?
No.
Mr. Seer? Merry Christmas.
That's what I'd like to say, just, wish each and every one a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.
All right, with that, I'm making someone make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? You're approved.
I'm sorry, walking down there, I want to wish you.
I forgot something again.
She walked out right after me. She said something about the recess.
The HR,
I don't know where she went.